one of gaming's staple genres. It feels like every week there are a dozen or so new horror games launching into the world. 2025 saw its fair share of standouts for the genre, bringing subgenres like survival horror, horror RPGs, and even some more experimental ideas to the forefront. As we continue looking back on the best games of 2025 across your favorite genres, these are the greatest horror video games 2025 has to offer, listed in alphabetical order. Surgeon Studios follows their debut title, Tales of Kinzera Zhao, with a surprising left turn away from 2D Metroidvanias into FMV experimental horror with Dead Take. Challenging players with a number of escape room-inspired sequences set in an empty Hollywood mansion, the game presents a missing persons case about an actor in the world of film. As players progress, they'll unravel a haunting and at times disturbing story played out in video clips by a star-studded cast including Ben Starr, Neil Newman, and Laura Bailey. Following the narrative of the original hit Dying Light the Beast continues the story of Kyle Crane pursuing his former captor, Baron. Iterating on the strengths of the series, this new entry in the Dying Light saga brings players to a more rural location full of lush forests and foliage. First-person combat, parkour, and exploration are all still great, and Dying Light the Beast may be your best bet for zombie horror survival in 2025. While not overtly horror, the world of action RPG Hell Is Us is eerie, dystopian, and hauntingly immersive. Supernatural beings walk the earth and wait for players around every corner. Hollow walkers are manifestations of negative human emotions, something overflowing in this land and this story. Players will travel locations ravaged by civil war and countless tragedies. If you're brave enough to endure this world, players will see a story set around the hunt for your missing family, and along your journey you'll witness some truly unforgettable sights. Set in an alternate timeline East Germany, Pollard Studios' Karma: The Dark World is a surreal and at times off-putting first-person narrative grappling with ideas of identity, memory, and free will. While its themes are well explored throughout literature and gaming as a whole, the way Karma: The Dark World presents its psychedelic and psychological rabbit hole shines in the 2025 horror landscape. The striking pixel art and turn-based combat of Look Outside evokes the simpler times of stumbling across an unknown RPG that could truly shock you by what was contained within a cartridge or a disc. Look Outside takes players into a dark and disturbing world of monsters infesting an apartment complex, and tasks players with figuring out the truth of what's really happening. With a variety of endings on offer, your own understanding and curiosity for these cosmic horrors will make you want to replay the game, just to have a better grasp on the truth of what's outside your apartment door. A short and sweet anthology of 6 spooky stories, the stop-motion animation style of The Midnight Walk brings players into a world reminiscent of classic claymation horror films. Players guide a living lantern named Potboy in this unsettling world full of puzzles to solve and clever audio mechanics awaiting players. Don't be fooled by its runtime or deceptively whimsical appearance, there are still plenty of fun haunts in store. Inspired by the isolating, haunting, and set-piece horror of classic Silent Hill games, Red Souls Games' debut title, Post Trauma, puts players in the shoes of a train conductor, Roman. Transported into a dangerous and nonsensical world, the players must guide Roman through puzzle after puzzle in some truly terrifying locations, in an effort to escape this nightmare world. Following the grand return of Silent Hill with 2024's celebrated Silent Hill 2, 2025's Silent Hill F takes the modern era of the series beyond just a remake of a prior great. Set in a 1960s Japanese town, Silent Hill F explores the story of a schoolgirl named Hinako as she struggles with societal expectations of the time that, in typical Silent Hill fashion, manifest themselves as the beautifully unsettling horrors found in the game. Tormented Souls 2 builds on the throwback to older survival horror found in the first Tormented Souls game. Picking up where the first game ends, players control Caroline Walker, going from investigating an abandoned hospital to now an isolated settlement in Chile. Refining what worked from the original game, the series' brand of claustrophobic, tense survival horror is on full display and is worth checking out for fans of these genre-defining classics. Beginning life as a Doom 2 conversion mod, 2025 sees Total Chaos stand as its own fully fledged game experience. Oceanic horror awaits as players dive into a decaying mining colony, compelled further by a mysterious broadcast. Gathering tools and supplies in the depths of the island locale, players will need to manage their inventory, solve puzzles, and survive intense first-person combat scenarios set to a score from horror legend Akira Yamaoka. And those are just some of the best offerings 2025 has for fans of the horror genre. There were countless great horror games that released during 2025, so be sure to let us know your favorites that you'd recommend and what you think of our picks. Thanks so much for sticking around, and for more on 2025's best games regardless of genre, be sure to stay tuned right here and over on GameRant.com.